Welcome to Honeybee Yoga Studio. I release new yoga classes every week aimed at yogis of all levels. So if that sounds like your thing, please hit that red subscribe button below. And hi yogis, I'm Lindsay and thank you so much for joining me for today's chair yoga class. This is week 4 of my 4-week series. We've gone through a few basic chair yoga postures. We've added some twists, some heart openers, and today we're going to enjoy a couple options that might add a little bit of a strength challenge. Of course, you don't have to take those options. You can simply enjoy the flow. So as always, we'll be using a chair, ideally one that's short enough that we can put the soles of our feet on the floor, and also one that doesn't have armrests on it. We'll be going from side to side and we'll be using the sides of our chair. So let's get started. We're going to bring our sit bones a little bit further on our chair towards the front so that our backs are not on the chair. We're going to feel those shoulders stack above our hips. Soles of our feet press into the floor. We're engaged through our core so we can keep our chest lifted. Our gaze maybe lifts. Our hands come to our thighs or by our sides. And let that crown of your head reach up to the sky. Let's take a couple breaths here to begin our practice together. Just letting your breath flow, not making any changes to it, and tune out the outside world. Use our breath to make a connection to our bodies. Feel that breath flow through your body. And see if we can keep this breath to body to movement connection as we go. Let's make our next 2 breaths extra big, maybe incorporating our arms if we'd like to. Bringing those hands by our sides. Let's take a big inhale, sweep our hands tall, and then exhale, sweep those hands wide back by our sides. Let's do that again. Big inhale, stretch and reach. And then exhale, back by our sides. Let's start by taking a few gentle neck stretches. So let's bring our gaze to come out that right shoulder. We'll stay here for a breath or 2, just kind of pulling our chin towards our right shoulder. Then we'll slowly make our way through neutral, bring that chin to our left shoulder. We want to keep that tall spine engaged through our core. Shoulders are melting away from our ears. Let's do that one more time on each side. So chin to our right shoulder. And then chin to our left. This time we're going to do it using our ears. So we're going to come back to neutral. We're going to take that right ear towards our right shoulder. So you can let gravity do the work here, feeling that stretch on your left side. Or if you're so inclined to do so, you can always take that right hand and just lay it atop your head, adding a little bit of weight. We'll take one more breath before slowly moving through neutral and then bringing that left ear towards our left shoulder. Again, option to use that left hand to maybe pet your cat or bring that left hand up to rest atop your head. Again, staying for just a breath or 2. Then we'll come back through neutral. Bringing our attention back to those shoulders. Let's start to roll our shoulders. So moving in one direction and only moving your shoulders as big as feels good for you. I work at a keyboard all day, so I could roll my shoulders for the whole evening and it would still feel fantastic. Let's go in the opposite direction. Maybe it's snowing out, you've been doing lots of shoveling. This can feel really good. And we'll eventually find our way to stillness. Next, we're going to move the stretch down our torso, and we're going to focus on our belly button. And we're kind of going to pretend like we have a hula hoop on, but we're going to move really slow. So we're going to do barrel rolls. We can keep those hands on our thighs for some leverage and some support. Or maybe it feels better to bring them by your side or hold on to your chair. So we're going to start by pressing our belly button forward. Then sinking to our left side, pressing our spine behind us, sinking to the right side, and then bringing forward again. So just like you have a hula hoop, maybe a hula hoop isn't the best descriptor now that I think of it, because we want that movement to really be our entire torso, not just our hips. And then maybe the next time we feel that belly button, our chest pressing forward, we'll move in the opposite direction. And so again, those hands may be on your knees or your thighs, giving yourself a little bit of support. And let's take one more full circle here. We'll feel ourselves come to stillness. Let's feel that right hand come to hold on to either your chair next to your right hip, or maybe it's easier just to press that right hand into your right hip. And let's lift our left hand up to the sky. Now, depending on what feels good for you, maybe we stay right here. Or maybe it feels okay to start to reach that left hand to the right side. You might feel that left hip, that left bum cheek start to lift away from your chair a little bit. If it does, let's pull that left bum cheek back down. We want to feel sturdy, supported by our chair. One more breath here. And then we'll slowly exhale and bring that left hand towards our left side and bring that right arm to lift. And then again, keeping both sit bones heavy, we can start to reach that right hand to the left side. If we start to feel our weight shifting to the left, we want to pull that right sits bone back down. One more breath here before letting that right arm come back. Finishing our upper body movements, we're going to challenge our shoulders and our arms just a little bit. So we're going to reach our arms wide. And while we're here, we want to feel those shoulders melting away from our ears. We want to feel our shoulder blades behind us kind of pulling together. So our chest, our sternum, our heart is really open in front of us. Keeping our shoulders, our torso exactly as they are, let's take a few circles with our arms. Starting nice and small, moving in one direction. Let's take about 2 more breaths, and you can move as slowly or as vigorously as feels good for you. And then let's move in the opposite direction. Again, keep it nice and tight circles, small circles. We're going to do this 2 more times, and we're going to increase our circle distance. So going back to that first direction, we're going to go a little bit bigger. Your shoulders, your triceps, they might be starting to get a little warm. Let's go in the other direction. And then next time we're going to do the biggest circles that we can. So going back to that first direction, and you can go as slow and steady as feels good for you. I'm going to move those arms in big circles. And then let's switch that direction one final time. My shoulders are definitely warm. Let's do one last big circle before bringing those hands to rest. Take any shimmies, any shakes through your arms to feel good, and we'll keep moving. Let's keep those feet planted firmly on the floor, and we're going to move into our right leg. So option, if we want to challenge our core, challenge our hip flexor, we're just going to simply lift our right knee. Right sole of the foot comes off of the floor. We're going to stay lifted for a little bit, so you can stay using just your leg strength, or if you prefer, let's take those fingertips, slide them underneath that knee. We can hold with our arm strength here. We're going to take another breath here. And then using that right hand, and our left as well if it can reach, we're going to open that right knee to the right side. We're keeping that left leg planted. Let's take a big inhale, tall spine. Last little bit of strength here, we're challenging. Let's pull that right knee back in front of us. Let's rotate our ankle in one direction. And then in the opposite. And then last challenge, again, optionally, fingers underneath our knees or not. Let's see if we can lengthen that right leg in front of us. Pull those toes up to the sky. And then slow with control, we'll bring a bend back into that knee and plant that right foot down. Let's move to the other side. So again, using those fingers or not, let's lift our left foot off of the ground. We want to keep that chest lifted, our gaze lifted. We're really using our hip flexor, our thigh muscles to really pull our knee up. Maybe using that left hand for support, let's open our left knee to the left side. Stay here for a pause. And then we'll slowly move back to face forward. Let's take a couple ankle rotations in one direction. And then in the opposite. And then just like the opposite side, option to take the last breath or two by extending our left leg long. Toes lift up to the sky. And then again, those fingers can maybe help as we slowly bring that bend back into our left knee, left foot back on the earth. Let's take a shimmy and a shake before moving on to our next posture, which is going to be a lunge. Now, depending on your mobility, the type of chair you're using, everybody's lunge is going to look different, but we're all going to start out the same. So let's start by shimmying those sit bones towards the back of our chair. I'm going to shimmy towards the left side of my chair. My left leg might even come off a little bit so that I can swing my right knee around the right side of the chair. Ideally, the majority of my weight is coming on from my right bum cheeker up to my right knee. So that right thigh is heavy on the chair. If I bring my gaze, my chest, my heart starts to face in the right direction, I'm going to start to send that left leg behind me. So maybe, see, I have these rounded edges on my chair, so it's quite hard for me to come into a low lunge, but maybe your low lunge looks a bit like this. Maybe it's a bit more comfortable. Oh, there we go, that would. A bit more comfortable to send your leg long behind you. Again, it's whatever feels best for you, whatever your chair looks like. You're the boss of your body. So here we are in our lunge. We have a generous bend in that front right knee. We have our left leg behind us. We have that heel lifted, toes digging into the earth. And maybe or maybe not, we have a bend in that knee. Let's keep that gaze reaching forward. Those hands can be resting on our chair. Now maybe we stay right here and this is what feels good for us. Or maybe we take that left hand and we bring our left hand towards the chair. Maybe we bring our right hand up towards the chair. If we can, maybe we start to pull that right hand behind us. Our gaze is looking towards our chair, and it's almost like we're trying to pull our body towards the right side. So it's a pretty generous twist through our spine. Now it's totally up to you wherever you are, whatever feels good for you. Maybe that left hand reaches forward and we really challenge our core, our balance, all while feeling the support of that chair beneath us. Together, we'll bring our hands back towards that right thigh, come to face the right side of our practice area. Together, let's lift those hands up to the sky. Just like when we were doing those arm circles, we'll make sure our shoulders, are melted away from our ears. Let's take a big inhale. We're gonna reach forward. Our body's gonna tilt forward just a little bit. And then we're gonna reach behind us. So maybe having a little bit of a gentle back bend. Maybe our gaze lifts up towards the ceiling. And of course, at any time, if you prefer to have your arms down or holding on to the back of your chair, that's awesome too. One last breath before those hands come back towards our chair. Let's bring that left leg in. We'll shimmy back towards the front. Take a couple wiggles and wobbles before we move to the opposite side. Swinging that left leg around the left side of the chair. I'm going to start to press that right leg behind me. So again, take your time here and figure out what feels good for you, what feels good for your chair. And we'll come into our version of a lunge. So I feel the majority of the weight coming underneath that left sits bone, my left thigh. My right heel is lifted, pressing in with my right toes, and I may or may not have that right knee bent and a little bit closer to my chair. It's whatever feels good. Let's bring our gaze, our heart, our chest towards the left side of our practice area. And then maybe we bring that right hand to the back of our chair. Maybe that left hand comes up to the back of our chair. Maybe that left hand starts to reach to the back of our practice area. Maybe that right hand reaches forward. Wherever you are in this little twist, little or generous, let's stay here for maybe a breath or two. Then let's slowly come back to face forward, bringing those hands to the inside of our leg to get nice and comfy. And then if it feels okay, let's reach those hands up to the sky. Once again, shoulders are away from our ears. Let's start to reach forward, hinging at our hips, shifting our weight forward. And then we'll reach behind us, having a little bit of a back bend. So those fingertips are reaching tall. Maybe our gaze comes up to the ceiling. Let's bring those hands back towards that left hip. Let's bring that right leg in, swing both legs around, coming back through neutral. We're going to take our last posture to really flush out what's left in our legs. So let's keep that right sole of our foot planted on the earth. We're going to lift our left knee up into our chest. Let's take that left heel, place it just below our right knee. So we've been here before. Let's bring that left hand towards our left knee. Let's lift that chest, crown of our head. We can stay lifted, or if we'd like to, we can melt forward. After those few little back bends, the barrel rolls, might feel good to release forward, release some tension from that low spine. We'll take a couple breaths here. And depending on how you're feeling, you can really release and let go. Or maybe like me, you're kind of holding onto that left leg, holding it in place, using your arms for a little bit of support for your upper body. We'll take one more breath, and then let's use that inhale to slowly lift our spine, come back up through neutral. Let's release that left leg back to the earth. Let's bring that right knee up towards our chest. Bring that left hand to guide our right foot just behind or just below that left knee. That right hand can come to your right knee. And once again, we'll take a big inhale to come tall. And then exhale to slowly melt forward. Feeling that breath travel through your body. Let's take one more breath here. Maybe noticing how this side maybe feels a little bit different than the other side. And then using our next inhale, we'll lift that torso one more time, gently releasing that right leg back to the floor. You can take any wiggles, any wobbles that feel good for you. And then let's close our time together with 2 big breaths. So let's bring those hands by our side. And if we can, we'll inhale our fingertips up to the sky and then exhale them wide. Let's do that one more time. Big inhale. This time our hands come together and then melt those hands down to your heart. Let's take a bow for ourselves and a bow for our practice. Thanks so much for following me on this 4-week chair yoga journey. I hope you really enjoyed the series. I know I really enjoyed learning more about chair yoga and trying to incorporate some more unique and dynamic movements into a chair yoga practice. If you enjoyed this, please leave me a comment below and let me know what you enjoyed. Is there something else you'd like to do using chair yoga? What about a more active chair yoga practice, standing and using the chair for support? Let me know down below. Give us a thumbs up, a subscribe if you're into it, and I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Take care.